What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Randy with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic War of Nova video today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the theory-crafted best build for the Darkfang in PvP. This is very different from the build you're running in PvE farming early game, and I'm here on server 2, we're on day 6, and I'm ready to tell you this is the build I'm planning on running. I'm in the final phase, and we are leveling up Darkfang now in order to power him up. What I'm doing to level them up, just so you know, quick tip unrelated to this video, is I am repeatedly dropping level 200 and level 230 power tiles near me in order to recapture them and gain experience. It is more important for me to power up my Darkfang and my Sunder and a Corruptor ship for PvP than it is to go capture new tiles. At this point, 186, I have pretty good tile count. My resource balance is pretty good across the board, so I am cool with wasting stamina recapturing tiles for experience. That's what we're up to. Into the actual build. That's just one tip for you. And by the way, if you like these tips and these videos and this information, let me know in the video comments down below. And also feel free to request videos. There's about 1 million videos worth of content to make for this game. The game is massive and amazing, and I love it. So I'll be making a lot of videos, but if you don't want to wait for me to make the topic by guessing it, feel free to put suggestions in the comments. Okay. Into the actual topic for the Darkfang, all right? So in 1 minute, I'm going to attack this 200 power tile so you can see the build in action. But for right now, let me walk you through the setup. The Darkfang is a crazy, crazy powerful ship. I can't even believe that it's rare. It has so many skills that have such great synergy, and I really love it, okay? Let's start by talking about the fact that since it is rare, it should be very easy for you to get this mastery level up to level 5. If not 5, if you spend a little bit of money, you can even get it higher, maybe up to 10 like me, where I've spent a few bucks. Not a whole lot, because most of my ships are, you know, mastery level 2 or 3, except for my blues. So with a small to moderate amount of spending, you can get this ship easily above mastery level 5, allowing you to unlock all the skills. If you haven't spent much money in the game, or any money on the game, you should get the ship for free through completing the chapter quests if you're in the evil factions. And if you're Ograx, you get it for free as a starter ship. And in addition, with the free daily in-game summons, you should easily be able to get this ship to mastery level 3 within the first 2 or 3 weeks of playing as free-to-play, okay? Into the actual tech tree itself. There's a couple things we're going to do here. First, I'm going to talk about the early game setup that you already know from my other videos, okay? And that is going to be maxing out 15 out of 15 in Competent Crew, as well as maxing out 10 out of 10 in Vampiric Attack. As you're leveling, you're going to stagger this, so maybe you'll put 5 points in Competent Crew, 5 points in Heal in the Vampiric Attack to make sure you have good sustain for killing early level tiles. And then once you have these 2 skills maxed out, I want you to go into the Respect level 3 tree. This is the Mastery 3 tree, the Tier 2 abilities. The Tier 2 abilities are really amazing. You have Brothers in Arms, which is going to give your Ograx units bonus HP, as well as a massive, this is a massive damage mitigation bonus. You're going to reduce all the damage that your Ograx take by 30%. It's way more than 15. That is a disgusting amount of damage mitigation, and it's this isn't defense. It can't be mitigated. It ends up right there towards the end of the equation, okay? The only way to balance this out is by having the opponents debuff you with bonus damage received. In addition to that, you have a few other skills in the Respect level 3, Mastery 3, Tier 2 ability tree here. I'm just saying a whole lot of words, but you have a couple other abilities that are really amazing, and I don't want you to overlook them. First, you have Tag Team. Tag Team actually gives you 2.4% damage per point compared to the R5 tree, Blood and Honor. So actually the R3 tree, the Tier 2 abilities are better than the Tier 3 abilities. They're more valuable, which is why I got the Tier 2 abilities first. So I'm going to get all this damage mitigation, a little bit of bonus HP. I'm going to get 24% bonus damage for my Ograx units. Just from this Tier 3 tree, the Tier 2 abilities, okay, the R3 tree. I can't even, I'm mixing like 8 different games terminology together. The Mastery level 3 Tier 2 tree. Maybe I'll just say I don't know. I'm just say Tier 2. Let's just go with, we've picked the lingo. We're now going to say Tier 2 from now on. The Tier 2 skills give better value point for point than the Tier 3 skills, which is really, really great. So what you're able to do is max these out, and for 25 points, you get 30% damage mitigation, 24% damage bonus. And then if you have a really high mastery level, you can go beyond. So you can grab Blood of Honor and you can start pumping points into this. When my ship is max level, I only have 12 points in Blood and Honor, which will give me 24% bonus damage. Combined with another 24% bonus damage here, that is going to give me 48% bonus damage, 30% damage reduction, and lots of crazy healing, okay? And if you have even more points than that, you can go ahead and grab Sap, which is going to do a decent amount of damage, but most importantly, it is going to crowd control some enemies, okay? And in fact, I would recommend generally putting 1 point in Sap anyways. I'll probably put my next point when I hit level 41 into Sap. I'm only level 40 right now. And once I hit level 41, I'll put a point in Sap. That way, I mean, it's a guaranteed stun. Rounds 3, 6, and 9. It'll lower the damage you take, helping you offset the battle even further. The one important thing to know is if you do stun one of the enemies, you will be reducing the healing you do because you will not be counter-striking with this setup. I want to talk about officers. You don't have to use any of these officers except really, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what officers you use for the ship a whole lot, except for the following. I would suggest that you use Sydney or another hero that has the elemental defense bonus. So now I have 30% reduced damage taken for Ograx units and additional 30% reduced energy damage taken. Energy damage units are massive damage units. They do a crazy amount of damage and they can bypass defenses. So what I will tell you is I highly recommend that you throw this on since we're going for a very tanky heal-based build. Very tanky heal-based build with counter strikes, and now we're going to take even less damage here. The other officers that I'm using, really just things that I had lying around. I have plenty of purple officers that can go into the command spot. However, this blue officer is really so great. The stats on it are great. Actually, I use blue officers on a lot of my ships, as you can see here. So I strongly support throwing blue officers on. You know, it's really up to you what you're going to go with here. You can pick or choose. But again, I'm using blue officers on many of my ships because if you have a 4-star blue officer, it's actually usually way better than a 0 or even a 1 or 2-star purple. So as long as you don't need the purple skill, which for this particular build I want the purple skill, I would suggest using blue heroes. All right, those are the officers. Those are the skills. Let's take a look at the units, folks. Let me go ahead and attack this tile, and then I'll walk you through the units. We're really covering a lot of ground here. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's content so far. And by the way, thanks to GemZ for sponsoring the video. Check the link to their Discord in the video description below. Here we go. We have 17 seconds to impact the enemy. I guess I'll pull up my... Oh, this is a cool looking... I guess I should just pull this up. This kind of makes my video redundant. I should just share this and not even post a damn video. That's pretty funny. Alright, the units I'm using are Ograx Basilisks, okay? These units are crazy tanky. They have a damage mitigation, more damage mitigation bonus. And they also have a not guaranteed Counter-Strike, but at max level, 10 out of 10, it'll be a 70% chance to activate Counter-Strike for decent damage. They also are medium units, so they take up 2 unit slots, 2 strike unit slots on your ship. They have really low siege, which is kind of counterintuitive for a large ship. But they have huge initiative and speed and huge defense and HP. They're very tanky units. So they're very tanky with lots of damage mitigation. And let's go ahead and take a look at how we did in this fight. Okay, so no losses. And this is post-patch. If you guys aren't aware, they buffed all the tiles in a patch earlier today. They added abilities and some other stuff to these tiles. So these tiles actually are a little bit harder to kill than they used to be. But all in all, as you can see, I took almost no damage. I mean, I really took almost no damage here. So for those of you that are thinking to yourself, oh, I probably just exploited the healing mechanic, that's incorrect. This setup is designed to take almost no damage. It takes so little damage, it's actually kind of scary. This is designed to force enemies in PvP to draw on you multiple times and have to recall their army and waste stamina. This is a stamina waster. This is a must-have in everybody's arsenal. You must have an army that can tank any army that hits it for at least one attack and force the enemy to make a decision. Are they going to recall? And maybe you killed 20-30% of their troops and you lived and they need to sit there. Are they going to recall and refill, which is going to save you 5, 10, 15 minutes in a fight, and also waste stamina on someone's main fighting march? If you can drop your Darkfang on a tile somewhere and absorb 3 or 4 hits before you die, that is a massive stamina victory for you, and likely a troop victory too, because you're probably killing more than you're dying. So not a high damage build. It does decent damage because it has several damage bonuses, but it's really, really a disgustingly tanky setup, and I can't say enough good things about it. Obviously, I drew on a 200 power tile, right? So I'm not doing the most damage ever, but it is dominating. Something's happening in a different game. See, too many games. Anyways, feel free to like and subscribe, guys, if you guys have enjoyed today's content. Hopefully that helps you decide how to run Darkfang. That's how I'm running Darkfang. Love you long time. Like and subscribe again, and thanks, Gemzy. Randy, out.